Okay, so hierarchy. How can you use hierarchy effectively? And we talked about hierarchy. You want the most important thing to be the biggest thing on the cover, and you want the least important thing to be the smallest thing. The bigger your text or the bigger your image, then the more likely the customer is to read that first. So let's see how this cookbook uses hierarchy effectively. So check this out. The book title is The Complete Anti-Inflammatory Diet for Beginners. That's the book title. But they use two different fonts and two different colors in the book title. What are the two different colors that they use? Where they use the blue for the complete and for beginners, and they use white for anti-inflammatory diet. Now, what is more important, the complete and for beginners or anti-inflammatory diet? When someone's searching for this book, are they more likely to type in the complete? Are they more likely to type in for beginners? Or are they more likely to type in anti-inflammatory diet? They're more likely to type in anti-inflammatory diet, which is why those words are big, large, they're thick, they're a different font. You can see they're completely different fonts. This one has these little corner things here, but these ones don't. They don't have any corner things. Look at the F here. The F goes like this, then it goes down, and this goes like this goes like this, and this goes like this. The F here though, it's just stationary. Not stationary, but it's not as complicated as this one. So they have a different font, a different style, a different color, and a different weight, a different thickness. Now, why do they make anti-inflammatory diet thicker than everything else on the font, on the book title? The reason they did that is because they want anti-inflammatory diet to be the first thing that stands out on the cover. When you see this, they want you to see this part first, because they know that this is what you're searching for. And if this is what they see first, if this is what the customer sees first, then they're more likely to click on it, they're more likely to buy it, they're more likely to look at it, they're more likely to get their attention. So the title is the biggest thing on the cover, so the title gets the most attention, and then there's even hierarchy within the title. Now the same thing applies for the subtitle. The subtitle is the second biggest thing on the cover, but even in the subtitle they have hierarchy. They have a thicker font and a thinner font. What does the thicker font say? A no stress meal plan. That's the important part of the subtitle, that it's a meal plan inside where it doesn't require any stress, with easy recipes to heal the immune system. That's a good benefit. But they chose a no stress meal plan as the first thing they want people to read in the subtitle. And then obviously the author name is the smallest thing on the cover and is right at the bottom as well. So that's how they implemented hierarchy in the title. Let's look at another one. Okay, so this is a coloring book. So how do they implement hierarchy with this one? Well, what's the important thing about this coloring book? We know that it says 101 harmless coloring book. 101 is probably how many coloring pages are inside, how many different illustrations. Now, harmless, the important part? Probably not. No. The fact that it's a coloring book, is that the important part? No. It's the fact that there's 101 different illustrations inside that's important. That's their USP, because everyone else might have 50, 60, 70. You have 101. So that's why this is the biggest text on the cover. And now in order to get them to read downwards, this is the second biggest text, harmless, and then coloring book is the third biggest text. Now then they have the main image, and then finally the smallest thing on the cover is their subtitle, which is here at the bottom. Relaxing book to calm your mind and stress relief. And that's how you read the book cover. So they made the most important thing the biggest thing on the cover. Let's look at another one. This is a perfect use of hierarchy. So this is an only text cover. There's basically no main image. But no matter who you are, even though it's only text, everyone is going to read the text the same way. So everyone's going to read how to talk to anyone first. Why? Because it's the font with the biggest weight, so the biggest thickness. Look at how thick the T is. This is extremely thick. And it's also the largest font. It's the text with the largest, where it takes the most amount of space, because it takes up this. All of this space is the title. So because this is the most important part, the book title, they made it as big as possible and as thick as possible. So we know that we're going to read the book title first. What's the second thing we're going to read? Well, our eyes automatically go down, and they made sure 92 is extremely big. 92 is part of the subtitle. 92 little tricks for big success in relationships. But look at how big 92 is compared to the rest of the font in the subtitle, even though it's part of the subtitle. Why? Because 92 is the most important part. 92 is the USP. 92 is a selling point, which is why they want to make it bigger than the subtitle. They want it to stand out. They want to make sure people see 92 and then think to themselves, oh wow, that's a lot of tricks. And then they can read the subtitle, which is the least important thing, which is why it's the smallest font. And then finally, they can go up and read the author name. Now, the author name, sometimes they're going to have it bigger or smaller than the subtitle. It depends on how well known the author is. But if people know the author and they trust the author, then they can afford to make the author name a little bit bigger, because they might get the sale just purely based on the author name. So book title is the biggest thing. USP is the second biggest thing because it's part of the subtitle. Subtitle is the third biggest thing, and author name is the fourth biggest thing. And that's how we read this book cover. Let's look at one final one. Let's see how these people use hierarchy. So this is a Valentine's Day book, and check this out. What's the biggest word on the cover? The biggest word is laugh. Correct. Look at how big laugh is. Look at how much height this takes, and then try not to takes a little bit less height. Even though this is all together, try not to laugh challenge is the main book title. The word laugh is the biggest biggest one because that's the selling point. It's a try not to laugh challenge. Now guess what? Because this is the biggest word and they're trying to tell people this is a try not to laugh challenge, what images do they use on their book cover? Well, they have Cupid laughing. This is because it's a Valentine's Day edition. But they have a Cupid laughing because it's a try not to laugh challenge. And then next to him, they have these haha emoji things. Now this isn't a coincidence. That's why the word laugh is the biggest word on the cover, because they want to keep telling your brain this is a fun book. And they do it with two ways: make laugh the biggest word and then make the main image people laughing. So we read laugh first, or laugh challenge, and then we go in and actually explore it. So it's a try not to laugh challenge. The book title is the biggest font on the cover. And then what's the second biggest font on the cover? What's the second biggest word? Well, it's kids versus adults Valentine's. So this is what the book is about. This is like a second subtitle. It's who it's for: kids versus adults Valentine's. Now because it's the second most important thing, that's why it's the second biggest thing on the cover. And the final thing is joke book edition, Valentine's Day game book. This is just the smallest subtitle. Now because it's the least important thing, it's the smallest thing. Now you can notice there's no author name here. Why? Because no one cares about the author name. No one's buying a try not to laugh challenge book because of the author name, because of who wrote it. They're buying it because they want to know, if I buy this book and I open it and I play with my kids or I play with my parents, then I'm gonna laugh. That's all they care about. And this book cover, that's exactly what it says. It tells you you're gonna laugh, and then it shows people laughing, and then it tells you who it's for: kids and adults. And then if you want more information, you can just read the subtitle. So it's very, very important that you use hierarchy correctly and effectively, because the more effectively you use hierarchy, the easier it will be to read your cover and to convey emotions and to get people to click on it, because you can subconsciously just guide them through your design.